guys, welcome back to the channel.
Buongiorno, good morning.
Sí. Hello, buenos días.
Buenos días.
um,
Guten Morgen.
Today we are going to talk about house pricing in Italy as we drink our coffee and have one of the first Pandoro of the season. Is that maybe there is a misconception about the prices on the north and the prices in the south. Yes, people broadly know that the north is usually more expensive than the south, but generally, but I don't know if this has created an idea that everything in the south is cheap or that it has no value.
Cheap or poor or not worth anything.
Yeah,
or just not true.
Or that you see or that you won't see beautifully finished houses of with high price tag. So we really need to discern between price and value.
And you have to consider that people in the south don't look at themselves as inferior northerners. They don't look at themselves as, I live in a budget North Italy. Not at all. They believe that they live in the most beautiful place, whether that's just the country or it's the town that they live in or the part of Italy. If you can call Italy a country anyway. Nation of states.
That is interesting because us as foreigners, we know that Italy all over is beautiful. And what we've said 100,000 times is that if you close your eyes and put your finger on the map, you're going to land in a beautiful spot that for sure you're going to like. But Italians think the contrary. They tend to think that their village is the best, is the most beautiful one.
Yeah, so it's a matter of perspective, isn't it? So you have your perspective, we have our perspective, the seller has their perspective, the real estate has their perspective, and then the market has its perspective. And we were talking before about what a market value is. And what is a market value? Is it what a website creates? For example, the MLS in America or realestate.com.au in Australia or idealista.it in Italia. So yes and no. To me, the market value of a house is what someone wants to pay. So what it ultimately sells for. And that sounds like a circular argument, but if you have a house that nobody wants because of whatever reasons, and then everybody starts talking about it being overpriced, and the owner doesn't want to shift the price, but then someone comes along, and all of those problems that you saw or that person saw, they go away. And that person loves the house for the opposite reasons, thinks it's a reasonable price, or negotiates slightly anyway, and you should always negotiate, I want to talk about that, and then it sells. And you know what? That's the market value.
Another thing about that, about a market value, which is different to what we can afford as individuals. Just as an example, we have a house coming up, a beautiful home coming up, that the price is high. I'm not gonna say it's expensive.
No, the price is gigantic.
Yeah, but can we afford it right now? No.
Is it expensive?
Does that make a difference between what can I afford versus what is expensive? The only way to know if that house is expensive is compare it to a similar house. So I think we have to be mindful of how we express our our positioning, I guess, in relation to the value and the price of something. If we want to get, I think if we want to help understand how things work in Italy, because comments are so important. The comments that we get on each of our videos are so important, and we really want to foster that that relationship among people. And I love it when someone says something and someone else replies to that.
Yeah, we love comments. We love feedback. We love discussions, and but one thing is that, and then the other thing is comments that are just dismissive of houses because they can't, a particular person can't afford it at that time, or it's out of that person's budget right now. Maybe later it's not. So because it is, they then decide that it's too expensive for everyone, or it's not, the price is not correct, and that's another thing. When you talk about prices being correct in Italy, it's a very different market to Australia, to America, to the UK, but especially America and Australia, because of there being the new world where houses are pretty much cookie cutter, and you know what the value is, you know what the market is, you know generally, okay, that house should be X amount of dollars per square meter. But when you have houses that are 1,000, 2,000, 500 years old, compared to houses that are 2 years old, it's very difficult to compare. And then of course you have to compare south and north, and then you've got to compare small towns and large towns, and then you've got to compare the amount of people in that town and the services in that town, and then you've got to compare
distance to services, distance to the sea, and that's another thing. Some people love the beach. They will regard higher a house that's close to the sea. So for them, a house in the mountains.
And to me, they'll overpay for a house near the ocean. To me, it's overpaying, because I have no interest in buying a house next to the sea. I prefer a mountain view to a sea view. Doesn't mean I think that house is the wrong price next to the ocean. It probably is the correct price, because the market says that many people want that house because it has that more people want an ocean view, perhaps. But I prefer a mountain view. So to me, it's overpriced, or it's expensive to me. That's my point of view. But it doesn't mean it is.
Let's talk about, for example, and I'll put it up here somewhere, the house in Agnone that we did a few days ago, with the 3 levels, and that the middle section and the bonus attic that they need to be finished, because that house had very mixed comments. Some people, interestingly enough, they appreciate it, and that is something that a lot of the time gets overlooked. Someone was saying I am disabled. I think a couple of people actually said I am disabled, so I appreciate the fact that on the ground floor I can live, and then my kids can come and visit me and stay on the top floor. That house has a bathroom set up for disabled people, which we hardly ever see.
And it has a space for an elevator.
And it has a space for an elevator. The house was set up like that because the son of the owner actually works in disability services.
And the owners are elderly as well.
And he has certain disabilities as well. So it's not your typical house where Italians are very tough people, and especially older Italians. We don't know where they get their energy and their strength from, but they're happy to go up and down a set of stairs like this that looks almost like a wall all the time. So you see a lot of houses like that. But when you see houses that are more spacious, that are more wide, that cater maybe more for the typical lifestyle that we have in countries like America or Australia, then I think there is a value on that. There is value in that. Not for the person that can walk easily or can get through narrow spaces, but for the person that needs a wheelchair or that's thinking of the future, there's an immense value of that, because building, sorry, I'm rambling on.
No.
But there are different. We had a guy here because we have been considering updating the bathrooms and this and that. And the guy, the first thing he came with was a tape measure. Like, okay, are these bathrooms up to code? Because they need to be this much high, the entrance, and this wide, the door, to be able to enter, to access a wheelchair. So now things are changing for that. And our house, yes, it is up to code in regards to that, but you may have houses that don't have that, and then you have to think about those things in the future. Value versus price is a really conscientious
Yeah, so let's go
process.
back to, I want to go back to that house, because you're just sort of glossing over it. So that house, you'll see, it's 350,000. It's a new build. So I believe they demolished a house on this block and then they've rebuilt this house from scratch. That house, and actually this is a particular point, because in a way we had a slight, not disagreement, but a different point of view of this house compared to another house which you may have seen the video
which
on.
I'll put here as well.
Okay, which was 380,000. So okay, similar prices, but absolutely completely different homes in different towns, different areas,
Different regions.
like completely different, but similar prices. And the one that's 380, it gives this sort of look of not spectacular, but
Well, it has the wow factor.
yeah, it's got a wow factor because it's stone. It's got a lot of character. The land is good. It's got a great outlook.
Nice views.
Yeah, nice view. And it's pretty much, and it's finished. Okay. I mean, it is finished. You might want to do a few things yourself, but now that house, the owner spent a lot of money on it.
He overspent.
Like he overspent. Okay, and he admits it. So where he could have put other piping, he put copper everywhere. There's copper everywhere. So copper is really expensive. And that's just one of the things he's done. But the house itself is absolutely beautiful. Now, of course, there are going to be people that just think, oh, that's just way too expensive for a small town, for that region, and for, you know, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. But if we compare it to the $350,000 house.
This one here.
Okay, so this one is completely different, but in my opinion, equally as great, if not greater. And I said this morning, we were talking, if I was to be offered one of these two houses for free, which one would I take? I would take this one, the $350,000 house. Okay, and the reasons are that it has a beautiful feel about it. It's like a compound, so you've got it's a gated property with a really nice sized property that you can go all the way around in.
About 1,000 square meters.
And when you're in the house, so when you're in either the ground floor or the second floor, you feel, even though you can see all the houses, all the neighbours around you, you feel serenity. It has this position that allows it to. It's got enough space that it feels like it's in the middle of nowhere, although you are amongst many other houses.
And it has the tall trees,
pine trees. Now this house doesn't have the character of the other $380,000 house, but it's a new build, so it's got good thermal qualities, and it's got another bonus that it's not finished. So the second floor, which is to me is the best floor, second floor and the attic are not finished, which is great because you can put your own stamp on it. And believe me, if you've seen many modern homes in Italy, you don't want them to finish it. You want to finish it yourself. And that's not all homes, you know, don't get me wrong, but there are many modern homes built here which they all look the same as Australia, same as America, cookie cutter. They use the same tiles, the same everything. So, if you do finish it off yourself, it's you know, going to be your taste. But it's a beautiful house. It's got a beautiful feeling about it. Is it worth it? Well, who knows? I mean, do you like the town? You know, do some research on the town. The house, you have to have a look at the house from the point of view of looking from the balcony yourself. It's a great house. I really love that house. And one of the things that we wanted to get across was sometimes you can't, because some people see the price and they just think, oh no, it's overpriced. But it's way more complicated than that. And it's personal, and yes, owners can overprice things, but that's where negotiation comes in. And have you learned how to negotiate at this stage in your life? And that means having the courage to negotiate. And how do you negotiate? Well, do you know what the market value is? Have you looked in the same area and then look for similar size houses, similar size blocks? Okay, and then you can compare. So say, for example, you find in the same area, you know, or similar areas in the same region or whatever it is, but you find some similarities, and in those similarities you see that the prices range from 250,000 euros to 450,000 euros, and this house is being sold at 350. So you might think, okay, it's in the middle there, but what's the difference? So then you might want to go and look at those houses, and then you might see some differences, and you might see, okay, I have to put in some money to finish this house, so 350,000. Oh, I can't pay that, because yes, it's worth 350, but finished. So all right, what am I going to offer? What's it going to take for me to finish that house?
And also,
yeah.
Sorry, honey.
No.
Also, another, and that's a very interesting thing about what we do, because we so far we are looking at properties. We have been looking at properties and touring properties in 3 regions: Puglia, Molise, and Abruzzo, and soon a 4th region. So stay tuned for that. I can't wait to start editing those videos.
Yay!
Super excited. So not only 3 different regions, but houses in very different, or homes in very different towns. So towns of a few hundred people to towns of 33 or so thousand people. So don't take. You need to learn to how to discern where things are in relation to everything else. And not only that, but we also have done apartments, for example. And so we have 1 apartment, 2 houses of a very high price tag. So you need to take everything in context.
So there's another house
Which I'll put here.
around here, like right here. That house that we're referring to is actually in our town, and for our town it's on the high end. Now, is it worth it? It really depends on again on someone's point of view, someone's perspective. The owners have put a lot of money into it, and
Probably also overspent.
and they've probably, yes, and I think they admitted to us that they've overspent.
This house is going to be their family home. So yes, we do know
Yeah,
the
so
time flies, but they think that forever their kids are going to be
Yeah,
there.
so they're just living there as a family, and they see their future there. When someone overspends, that's the risk they take. So perhaps this house that we're talking about, it has overspent, but it has a lot of value. The house it's got a great piece of land.
And the finishes, like that's another thing. In your hometown or in your country, if you were going to look at a bunch of houses in a suburb, you will compare the finishes of the houses. Not only how much land it has or how many square feet or square meter the house is, you look at the finishes. And the same, you should do the same here, because there are places that are raw and there are places that are finished with very nice quality things that right now, if you were going to do the same thing, will cost you an arm and a leg. This house, for example, has tiles and doors that are crafted by a particular company that's very famous in Italy, and every door has a seal on it. And so every second tile, every third tile, there is a seal of the company on the tiles. Like, just imagine how much will it cost to do that now. So value again. If you appreciate those things, and if you are if the house is in your budget, that's a whole different thing. Again, the same way you will negotiate at home, try to negotiate here.
And if you negotiate, what is someone going to say? They're going to say no, or they're going to delay, or they're going to be hesitant, or they're going to bring the price down only a little bit, not what you want to pay. It's not relevant. It matters whether you actually want the house and you try. You can, in saying that, you can offend people because you can be ridiculous. And look, that's the art of negotiation. There is an art to it. If you go too low, if you go to a house and you go too low in Italy, you will offend the owner. And then if you offend the owner, he probably won't even sell it to, he or she won't sell it to you, even if you go then past the price he wants, because he might not want to do business with you anymore. With prices, sometimes we get people like almost launching at us about prices. We are not real estate agents, We do not dictate the prices. The prices are dictated by the real estates that we work with, or the sellers or the sellers that we work with. So those prices are what they have requested, is what we put down. If they change the price, they change the price. It's nothing to do with us. We just put what the house is.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah, don't shoot the messenger.
Another thing we wanted to bring up about these houses that we tour is that even if they are above your budget or below your budget, because you think that your budget is between 50 and 100, and then we show you a 25,000 euro house, just watch it. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose, and you have so much to gain, because then you will cement the knowingness of what you really want and what you don't like. You may be surprised by an inexpensive house, or by something in particular that you saw on a video of an inexpensive house. A door, an arch, something that can inspire you for later on. And the same with the higher priced houses. Just watch the video as well, because you may think, okay, I only have this budget right now, but the day I buy my house, I will invest in those doors in my house. So there's an infinite amount of information that you can gather and that you can learn from watching these videos, even if they're not within your price range, or even if right now you can't afford a home in Italy, or that you don't know how to move to Italy. Just little by little chip away and work towards it. The more information you have, of course there's a day that you're gonna have to make a decision if you want this to become a reality, but the more information you have, the more tools you're going to have when the time comes to make that decision. And another thing, do you have anything else to say?
I didn't say anything.
No, because I don't want to hog the camera.
Too late.
Another thing, when we were looking at property for the last 30 years, and for us together as a couple probably for the last almost 20 years or so, we didn't have the luxury of being able to sit in front of a TV in the comfort of our homes, looking at different perspectives from all these different content creators doing these types of videos, and just selecting what we vibe with from home. We had to spend tens of thousands of dollars coming to Italy every so often. I mean, not that it was a chore, or not that it was we had to come to Italy. No, but we did have that. We had to spend the money trying to figure it ourselves, scouting from north to south to find the places that we really liked. You don't have to do that. You can do it if you want to, but as far as I know, half the work is done for you by having access to these videos. So just please watch them. We do them with a lot of love.
And share them with other people. And I want to say this, people that are not subscribing, why?
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, why wouldn't you subscribe? It costs you nothing. However, it helps our channel a lot, because we have, well, not just us, many channels have a percentage of subscribers compared to the amount of viewers. Okay, and it's a very small amount of people that subscribe. Even though they might watch 90% of the videos, they don't hit subscribe. Why? It costs you nothing.
You know, this reminds me of something, and I hope that at this point people are still watching. This reminds me of Tasmania. We had a business. We've done so many things in life, from corporate to having our own businesses to anything in between. We opened a business in Tasmania and in Hobart, actually. So when we talk about islands, when we talk about Australia, when we talk about cities, we know what we're talking about. We moved around in Australia and in many other places of the world. We've moved around. So yeah, of course it's still our perspective, but we're talking from actually doing things. We had a business there, and it was slow. It never got to be what it had the potential to be and what it should have been. And you know what people said to us? Like, yes, people usually come when someone opens a business, they usually start coming after the first year because they want to make sure that the business is going to stay, and then they support it. It broke our hearts to hear that. To hear that people had this rich mentality that a business could support themselves for a whole year without having patrons coming through their door and eating of themselves.
And in that business, we had to put, every day we had to put out, good products, good food, with a full menu. You can't, and that's how hospitality works. You can't just say, okay, I can only afford today to put, 10% of the menu because that's all I can afford with the ingredients. You have to put the 100% of the menu. You have to put yourself in 100%, and that costs money. And like people coming through the door. We had some great customers there, and people that did find us loved what we did, and we really loved doing it, loved setting it up, loved building it, and but we eventually moved on from that business, and we went on to other businesses which have been successful. Having subscribers, in regards to this business, and this is a business for us. We don't do this just for the fun of it, even though it is lots of fun and we really enjoy it. It costs us money to do, just to be here every day, whether it's filming, editing, driving places, spending petrol, food, tolls.
The more we do for this channel, the less time we have to put onto our other endeavors and businesses.
Sure.
So there has to be a balance regarding that. We would love to do a lot more with the channel, go a lot farther, but we obviously need people to be watching the videos and subscribing, because when you subscribe, then that will tell YouTube that you're liking what you're seeing overall, and then that video or that channel will get recommended to other people. And the thing, sharing is caring, it couldn't be more appropriate.
Things that viewers can do, like yourself, is liking. And I know it might be a bit annoying. It's like you watch a video and you want to like it, but
and you have to pause.
It's not for us. We know that what we put out, we try to put the best we can. So we know we like the video. Okay, we don't need to know. We don't need people to tell us whether it's a good video or not. We know it's the best we can do
with what we have
at the moment. So that's fine. What that like is for is telling YouTube, telling the algorithm that this content is what you are after. Now that actually can help you, because that can lead other content similar to ours to you. But it helps us. So if you like and subscribe
and watch the whole video,
then that helps us a lot. And so the percentage of people that subscribe, if that was up to 100%, that would allow us to grow, so we can do more, because we want to do more and we want to cover more of Italy, which we're going to talk about later. But we've got some really great things coming up, and the first one is what Fiorella was saying before, which is this new series we've got coming up, which it's in a different region. We're not going to tell you which one yet, but that's the first of something. However, we would like if people that haven't subscribed to subscribe. It costs nothing, absolutely nothing.
Just as I said before, just watch the videos. You're gonna get something out of it. Sometimes putting a video out there and not getting views that you expected, or getting very low views, is like, imagine you are cooking at home and you're expecting your kids to come for dinner, because in a way we enjoy doing this, but the only reason that we're doing it is because someone is watching. So we do it for you as much as we do it for us. And it feels like you have the dinner set up, all food, beautiful and warm, and no one comes home, or only one person comes home. So it can get disheartening in that regard for no reason, because I think the value is there for you. If you want my honest advice, watch them all.
Now that we're on shameful plugs, you should buy my book, which we'll just put here.
Okay, let's go in, people.
and if you buy this book, that's going to cost you something. That, unlike subscribing, this will cost you money. However, this book took me years to make, and it's going to cost you this much. So there you go, and buy it in paper.
Oh, we love paper. I tried Kindle. It was good to travel, but it's not the same.
E-books, but anyway.
Anyway, let's cut it here, because Georgie is barking and you probably have to go off to work or to make the dinner that we were talking about.
Oh, you have to get ready you have to plan your trip. You have to buy your airfares to Italy.
Or you have
to get ready for your e-meetup with us.
Yes, e-meetup. If you want to know again,
shameless.
If you want to know more details about what it's like to live in I was gonna say Australia. No, you know what it is like to live in Australia. You don't want to know more about it. If you want to know what it's like to live in Italy and want to have a coffee with us, or
Yeah, conversation, a coffee, and you want to just run by different things or scenarios,
ideas, or what your stories, we're more than happy.
Or you just want to crap on with us because we like crapping on, then fine.
Contact us and book a meetup.
Of course, yes, but you have to book the e-meetup, and it does cost a little bit of money, not much, but we only have certain hours in the day, and we need to.
And we've done it, and
we've done it many times.
And then people say they've found their value. Actually, we should do some a scene on whatever. Like say people, hi, I booked a meetup with Adrian Fiorella. It really worked.
It was really great, wasn't it?
They didn't push me to say these words. Book the e-meetup.
Buy my book,
subscribe, but hey, no pressure.
No pressure at all.
Subscribe.
Subliminal
messages. Subscribe. You most likely are getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner. If you're in America, domani is Thanksgiving.
Domani.
Yeah, so we hope you have a beautiful Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We hope that everyone comes to your home.
We wish we were there.
We wish we were there.
Especially Texas. Shout out to S&M.
S&M.
S&M. That's not something that you think it is. That's real people.
What's S&M?
S&M.
Yeah, but what is the no?
Well, you have to look that up.
Is that
No more words.
Okay.
Okay, so my wife is clueless, and that's fine.
This is like what living with a Colombian is like. Half the time I don't know what he's saying, and I think that's why we've been married for so long.
Yeah.
S&M, you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy your jacuzzi. Enjoy your pool.
We are looking forward to that jacuzzi because it looks really nice, especially as it gets colder.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
We have a lot more content for you to enjoy. If you would like to continue watching other home tours, please click here. If you would like to watch the videos of our own purchase and renovation story, click here. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Ciao!